Hey guys, how's it going? 4th of July, it's tomorrow. And I'm spending all day in the kitchen today on the 3rd to get stuff together for tomorrow. And so I thought, since you stopped by, I'd show you how to make a couple of side dishes. So about, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, not very often do I buy, pre-made stuff from the grocery store, right? Most stuff I make from scratch. Not a huge fan of preservatives or a lot of the other things that they put into dishes to keep them fresh longer, so to speak. And even though, on a side note, I'm quickly finding out that a lot of things that you can't pronounce on a label are actually just things, they have to name the technical name of what it is they're putting in. Example of that would be like baking powder, which is in its base form just two different ingredients that I can't pronounce. So, but they label it as such. I know when I have to make baking powder on my own, I want to say this is nothing more than baking soda and cream of tartar. But in order to put it into packaging, you have to give its chemical breakdown, which, like I said, I can't pronounce. So, but on that same note, there are some things in there that you don't really need in your system. Plus, a lot of times it has a large amount of salt or a larger amount of sugar, or things that just aren't really healthy for you to begin with. Not that we cook healthy on this channel by any means, but they add a little more than they should. And a lot of times it's preservative. Salt not only does it bring out the flavor of other things, but when it comes down to brass tacks, it's preservative. So that being said, but what it comes down to is I don't buy a lot of pre-made stuff at the store. So, but I had run across this, and I know it's been out forever and a day, but I thought I'd give it a shot, and that was a deviled egg potato salad. And I thought, that sounds really good. We've been on a deviled egg kick lately in our house, which is actually going to be one of the two things that we make today. So this video might go a little long, I'm hoping not, but all the same, I think it's well worth the watch. And Kris and me were talking after I bought a container of it, and it was really good. Let's try and make some for 4th of July. We're having a few friends over, plus I'm actually off for the first 4th of July since I can't remember when. And we want to cook out. We're going to do baked beans, we're going to do potato salad, this deviled egg potato salad. We're going to do some deviled eggs. Probably a couple other unhealthy side dishes that I haven't thought of yet, but we'll also do brats, hot dogs, hamburgers, barbecue chicken, and maybe a pie or two. It just depends, but it's going to be a good spread at any rate. So today I thought we would make some deviled egg potato salad and some deviled eggs. Both of them fairly quick and straightforward. They actually have some of the same ingredients, and it'll be able to let you, I get to show off a gift that Taylor, my oldest daughter, if you don't know, had brought me back on one of her many trips from the Mustard Museum, which is awesome, and I want to give it a shot. So that being said, if you're new, welcome. If you're a returning or one of our new subscribers, thank you and welcome back. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell. All that keeps us out in the algorithm and helps to grow our neighborhood, along with commenting. Commenting also helps. That thumbs up button does a lot of good, though. All I ask with the comments is you be polite. It's okay to disagree with me. Anybody else in the comments, just think before you type. That's all I ask. We're a friendly neighborhood. We're very diversified. Got all age groups, backgrounds, demographics, and so I want to keep it civil. And so far, we've been in the 2.5 years that I've been cooking on this channel. 3 years I've been cooking on this channel. I don't know how many years it's been. It's been longer than that. 4, maybe 5. Since tail end of 2018 at any rate. we've never had a problem really, but it will get you barred from the channel, you know, like quick, without exception. That's probably the one thing I have asked of anybody. Like I said, we don't have a problem with it. Everybody here gets along great. But that being said, all the same, I am going to make a valid attempt today, much like with baking, to give you your ingredients in cups, tablespoons, teaspoons, along with grams and milliliters. Although I don't think milliliters applies today, but I am going to make forth an effort to do with dinner as we do with baking. So that way everybody can play along and not have to try to figure out the differences. That being said, let's head on down to the counter and get this potato salad started. All right, hold on for me 1 second. Okay, we are down here at the counter, at the stovetop to be exact. If you are new to my channel, behind you is 12 inches of air, a wall with a window and a door. You now have seen my entire kitchen. Congratulations. So we are at the stovetop, and the first thing we need to do is cook our potatoes. So, excuse me, go ahead and we're gonna get this water boiled, turned on. I've got about 2.5, 3 quarts of water in here, and I've got 3 pounds or 1.42 kilograms of diced up red potatoes. Now I'm using red potatoes. You use potato you like. If you like golden potatoes, use golden potatoes. If you like russets, use russets. With russets though, I recommend that you rinse them with cold water a couple times first, get some of that starch out of it, because you don't want the starch. Red potato has a low starch count, so I rinsed them once and we let that run. So I got my 3 pounds of potatoes and I've got my 3 quarts of water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up to a boil, and I'm going to let them boil for about 12 to 15 minutes. I just want them fork tender. And you want to make sure that you cold start your potatoes with the boil. So you want to leave them sit in there and bring it up to a boil. Unlike the eggs, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, I did those a little differently. So let me get these boiled, and when I come back, we can go ahead and start getting things together. Well, you know what? While we're sitting here talking about it, while you're bringing this up to a boil to let it boil for that 12 to 15 minutes, now's when you want to get started doing some of your prep work. Not a lot of prep work, but I have got 1 dozen eggs here that I hard boiled already, and that's 645 grams of eggs. You know, and I boiled them first, got them out of the way because I wanted to boil the eggs for the deviled eggs, and I just cut them up. Yeah, I chopped them up into about, I don't know, I did 6 by 1, which if I did this right, you will see the video of me chopping everything up right now. Okay, so we got everything chopped up. I'll tell you what all I chopped up. I did the 12 eggs, right? And then you saw I did onions and I did celery. They're right here, and that's a 1/2 cup of onion and a 1/2 cup of celery. And you can do that while your potatoes are preparing, and then we can bring it all together. So when I come back, we will start putting everything together. All right, I'll see you here 1 second. Okay, so we got our potatoes done, and I want to show you what I mean by fork tender. And your time that you cook, to see how I just slipped that in, you know, it's still a little warm, I probably shouldn't have it in my hand, but I just was able to slide it on in there. That's fork tender. That means that it's soft enough to eat, basically, but not soft enough to turn into mashed potatoes. So I went ahead, as soon as I pulled one out and made sure it was fork tender, I drained the water off of it, and I just use a strainer to do that with, and then we're just going to set that aside. That's the only step we've got so far. So next we're going to throw together the mayonnaise sauce that's going to go over all of this, and you'll just need a small bowl, and in this small bowl we're going to do a half a cup, 110 grams of mayo. You could probably use like a light mayonnaise if you want to, but why, really? I mean, come on now. If you're watching me, we're probably not cooking healthy. Like I said in previous videos, I probably have 2 videos that are actually even remotely healthy. Everything else is designed, made, and we do on here to fill your soul with goodness, some love, fill your belly, keep it full for a little while. You know, and in the long run promotes good conversation. So anyhow, first thing is half a cup, 110 grams of mayo. Go ahead and get that in there in our little bowl here, and I'm just using a small bowl. And then to this we are going to add some mustard. You're going to add 3 tablespoons, 60 grams of Dijon mustard. Now in here, not only do I have the 60 grams of Dijon mustard, but I also have some Edmond Follett Dijon mustard. That's horseradish mustard, and this is the mustard that my oldest daughter got me while she was at the International Mustard Museum, and I finally have a chance to utilize it, so why not? So I've actually got a teaspoon of that in here also, and I'm here to tell you what, that is some of the most amazing mustard that I have ever had in my life. Even though it's got horseradish in it, and it's enough that it has it on the label, it's so balanced and not spicy. I know some people shy away from horseradish because of the heat of it. I like horseradish, but we got that in there. So at least 3 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, 60 grams. And then we are going to add some, a half a cup, 140 grams of relish. Relish of your choice. Whatever relish it is that you and yours like. In this case, I have some relish that we actually made last year from down in the grocery store there in the basement, and it's a cucumber hot pepper relish, and it is amazing. I don't know if I have a video for it. I think I do, but if I don't, I'll make us one. I'll show you how to can it up. It's really easy, and it's just a water bath process. It doesn't even require a pressure canner. Or you can make it on the fly. It's up to you. But I've got a half a cup, 140 grams of that. Let's say you don't want to use relish. You can put a dill pickle in here if that's your thing. You can, and it's still a half a cup, or a half a cup of diced up sweet gherkins, which are the little sweet pickles that you can buy at the grocery store. Either one of those will work. And then I'm gonna throw a couple dry spices in here. I've got 1 teaspoon, 4 grams of paprika right there, and sitting on top of that is I am using dried dill. You can use fresh. If you're using dried dill, 1.5 tablespoons. If you're using fresh dill, 3 tablespoons. Remember, when using dry, the flavors are concentrated because it's dried out and all that flavor is just sitting in there waiting to explode. So you want to use half the amount that it calls for fresh, and that goes for any dried herb, hands down. So we're going to go ahead and get that in there. Looks like some of my paprika wanted to stay behind. And then once we get that in there, we'll give this a good stir. And we're nice and mixed up. See, look on the monitor there. Yep, nice and stirred up. So now I'm going to use a large bowl. I don't know anybody else in North America that has a bowl like this. This thing is like a super-sized bowl, made for making lots of bread or lots of baked goods. My friend Kristen actually gave this to me. It was her mom's from when her mom had her catering business. So, large bowl, doesn't have to be this big. And to this large bowl, I am going to add a half a cup, 95 grams of chopped celery, and a half a cup, 75 grams of chopped onion. Now I have basically fine diced ours. Kris prefers her onion fine diced, and I don't want big chunks to take away from the flavor of the potatoes. And I think it goes further. We're not cooking it, so it's not like it's going to cook down into oblivion. So we're going to go ahead and get those two items in there as soon as I set the sauce down, like such. And then we are going to put our eggs in, which was that 12 hard-boiled eggs we did that we talked about earlier, and it's right around 645 grams. That's going to vary a little bit, but not by much. And we'll go ahead and get that in there, just like that. Get that in there, and then we're going to take our sauce and we're going to put that over top of that and get it all mixed together real well. All right, so we've got her stirred together, looking good. And now we have left to do is put our potatoes in. Now our potatoes are still warm. They're not hot anymore because we drained the water off of them and put boil in them, and they've been sitting here in the strainer, but they're still warm. And now we're just going to take these and we're going to fold these in. It's okay if some of the potato breaks up, but you don't want to like mash all your potatoes into it. Okay, so we got everything mixed together, just like such. Now, the last thing we need to do is just give it a quick taste test, just to see if it needs any salt or pepper. So we'll go ahead and throw that in there. Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to put about a quarter teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of pepper in there. Not much. If you are newer to my channel, I'm not much of a salt person. I think salt, I think most people, especially people my age, all the way up to like my mom and dad's age, if my mom was still around, I think salt is just the end all beat all. And in some cases it can be, especially if the food doesn't taste good. But the reality of that is salt is meant to bring out the flavors of other things. Without salt, you really don't have, the flavors don't intensify, and it can be a kind of a bland meal. So, and not that this is bland, but I think it needs that pop. So we'll go ahead and get that mixed in, and then all I have left to do after that is I'm going to go ahead and put some plastic wrap over the top of this, and we'll get it in the fridge. That way we can get it cooled down, give all these flavors a chance to get to know each other, and we'll be able to try it and make sure that our end result is where we want it to be. But when I come back, we're gonna go ahead and do this deviled egg stuff real quick. It's a classic deviled egg recipe that I came across a good while back. We've had it a couple times, and it's absolutely amazing, and I really want you to have this recipe to enjoy for yourselves. So I'll see you here in just 1 second. Okay, potato salad's in the fridge, just chilling, getting it cold. Now with that, I don't know if I just mentioned it a second ago or not, because it's been a while. I got caught up watching a movie with Abby and dinner and all that stuff, but you want that to chill for 4 to 6 hours, but best practice overnight, which if you've been following me for any amount of time, overnight's at least 8 hours, which is going to chill overnight because we don't need it till tomorrow. So now we're going to move on to deviled eggs at any rate. So the first thing we want to do, I've already boiled my, hard boiled my 12 eggs that I need. Yeah, we're doing 12 more eggs, so total 24 deviled eggs. Now, quickly, 2 different ways I use to hard boil these. I either take them and do from a cold start, which is the water's cold, the eggs are cold. I bring it up to a boil, let it boil for a minute, turn the heat off, remove it from the heat, and let it set for 10 minutes, 10 to 11 minutes. Or I bring the water up to a boil, I put my eggs in it and let them, and bring it back up to a boil, then a simmer. I know that sounds like a lot of work, but then I let them simmer for 13 minutes. Either way, I know out of all the ways I've done it, they turn out to be a really good hard-boiled egg where you don't get that green outer layer on the yolk. So those are the two I recommend. You may have one that you use differently, and if you do, put it down in the comments. So anyhow, I got that out of the way. Both of these were done with the 13-minute method. All 24 of these eggs that we did today. So first thing we need to do with our eggs is go ahead and I'm going to cut them in half, like such. And then I'm going to take that yolk and I'm just going to put it in this bowl over here. And I got to get all 12 of these done. Okay, we got all our eggs cut in half, got the yolks out of them. There's our yolks right there. Now, if you were wondering what I was talking about, so sometimes when you hard boil eggs, and it usually comes from boiling them too long, the yolk, see how that's nice and yellow? Sometimes it'll turn a dark green. Now, doesn't mean it's bad, you know. Plenty of people have made green yolks, and it's just literally the outer layer. And most of the time, especially with deviled eggs, by the time you get done putting all your other stuff in there, you never know it was green. But that is, if you're shooting for a goal with hard-boiled eggs, that's the goal that you want to get. So the next thing we're going to do is grab a fork, and we're going to mash these up a little bit into basically an egg yolk powder type thing. Okay, so we've got those done up for the most part right there. See how we're, you know, looking like a scrambled egg yolk? And we just broke those up, you know, no different than if you'd stick graham crackers in a plastic baggie and smash it with a rolling pin or a, you know, meat mallet or whatever. But you want to get those broken up real good. You know, big chunks are okay. I mean, if it happens, we're going to break them up, you know, keep mixing as we go. So chances are good they won't be there by the end. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add 4 tablespoons of mayo, right? And that's 60 grams of the mayo in here. That in there real quick. Followed by 3 tablespoons, 56 grams of regular mustard. Now, I am also adding in a half teaspoon of that Dijon mustard that Taylor got us from the Mustard Museum. But my original recipe didn't call for that. I really want that Dijon mustard is so good. I'll probably eat it on everything from now until, you know, I run out, and then maybe order some. I mean, I don't know. I really like that mustard. But you just want to use standard yellow mustard. And I'm doing 2 teaspoons. Yeah, I'm sorry, I told you that all wrong. It's 2 teaspoons of mustard and a half a teaspoon of the Dijon. The 2 teaspoons of mustard is 49 grams. And the Dijon is, 4 grams. And the Dijon is 2 grams. That was really hard to get out. So 4 and 2 is what we're looking at. So then after that, we are going to add 56 grams, 3 tablespoons of relish. Now I used a cucumber pepper relish in the potato salad. This one I am just using a regular old green pepper relish. Yeah, and I don't know if you can see it real well or not, but that's it right there. And these are all relishes that we make ourselves. We're on the tail end of all our relish down in the grocery store. Got, I don't know, half a dozen each left. But we'll get them out of the way through the summer. That way, when the green peppers start rolling in, we can make new, right? Along with the jalapeno relish, which is my favorite, and the cucumber relish, which is also amazing. But that being said, last 2 ingredients are salt and pepper. And I have got half a teaspoon of pepper at 2 grams and a 1/4 teaspoon, 1 gram of salt that we're going to throw in there. And I will leave the ingredients list down below in the description. That way, even though I fumbled up what I was saying, you'll be able to go down and get it. So now we're just going to mix this together until it's nice and creamy. Okay, so we are nice and creamy. There we are, right there. Now, here is where you'll want to try a little bit of it, just to make sure you don't need anything else. It doesn't need a little more mayo or a little more relish, or maybe some vinegar, depending. I think that's perfect. It's got a nice vinegary bite. The mayo is good. I can actually taste a little bit of Dijon we put in there, but it's not overbearing by any means. It just gives it that nice little extra kick with the horseradish. So the next thing we need to do is go ahead and let me get all this a little better organized, and we can start filling in our eggs. All right, hold on for me 1 second. Okay, here we are, a little cleaned up. So all we're gonna do is I'm gonna put about a teaspoon-ish of the filling in each egg. Now you can either put it in by spoon like I'm doing here, which doesn't make it like look horribly pretty, but it gets the job done, and I'm okay with that in this case. Or like if you were having like a real big, fancy party or whatever, you could pipe it in with a piping bag. Either way, you want to make sure you get them in the holder right. And I've got this holder here. It's actually a Christmas holder for Christmas, but it's red, which is like red, white, and blue for the 4th of July. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it in that. So all we got to do now is fill these up. Okay, so there are our eggs. Does not look just delightful? I think so. So what are we going to do with them now? Well, now we are going to take them and we are going to put those in the fridge. We're going to let them sit in there. With the eggs, unlike the potato salad, because the potatoes were warm, right? These were already cooled. So with the eggs, you can actually do them 3 or 4 days in advance as far as just the hard boiling. They are good for about a week total in the fridge. Once they're hard boiled, whether they're peeled or not, they're good for about a week. After that, once you get to this point, they're good for 3 days. So you could literally hard boil your eggs a couple, 2-3 days before your event, make these up a couple, 2-3 days before your event, throw them in the fridge. The reason why I wait until the night before to make them and let them sit overnight, if possible, is because they will get eaten if I do it the other way. Deviled eggs don't last in our house. Doesn't matter if it's a holiday or not. So this, along with the potato salad, you could actually do 2 to 3 days in advance. You could make your eggs for both of them, up to 5-6 days in advance, and you'll still be okay. This is definitely if you plan ahead type couple recipes that should go really smooth, and you can do a day or two ahead of time. One less thing to do. It's like getting your baked beans together the night before, so all you gotta do is throw them in the oven. It's an amazing thing. So let me get these in the fridge. We'll let them chill back down, let all those ingredients get to know each other a little better, and when I come back, we will try some of the potato salad and a deviled egg. So I'll see you here in a second. Okay, so with that everything chill, I went ahead and plated it up. Not allowed to have a whole lot because it's later in the evening and these are for tomorrow. But there we are right there. There is our egg and our potato salad. Potato salad I think looks absolutely fantastic. Now I will say, when I pulled it out earlier, kind of gave it a look over to see how the flavors were blending, it was a little dry. So I did add an additional 1/4 cup of mayonnaise to it. So you're at 3/4 cup of mayonnaise, or 165 grams, and I ended up putting 3 tablespoons of regular yellow mustard in there also, at another 45 grams, and which added to the creaminess, and it actually kind of boosted the flavors of everything, kind of gave it a little vinegary taste. I would highly recommend it. And then I put it back in the fridge for another couple hours, just to let that get to know everybody that was already there at the playground, so to speak. But let's go ahead and give it a try. I did sprinkle a little paprika on both the deviled egg and the potatoes, just to kind of give it that nice balanced look, deviled eggs do have paprika on them. At least that old classic does. But let's try this potato salad first and see how it turned out, because it looks fantastic. It tastes just like a deviled egg. It tastes like a deviled egg made of potato salad, and they had a baby. You got the potatoes are just nice and perfectly tender. The blend of the mayonnaise and the mustards, with all the celery and the onion, it all works. This is quite delicious. I do so like a good potato salad. That macaroni salad, I could live on those two. Now, let's try this egg, which I already know is going to be wonderful because I've made them before, but any excuse to eat a deviled egg is a good one, right? That filling is super smooth. That Dijon mustard, even just that little bit, holy cow, it just kicked the whole flavor of that filling up a notch comparatively. And that green pepper relish that looked red, it was the last thing we made of the year, and it's got a blend of all the colors in it, but all the same. Ooh-wee doggy. I'm gonna finish this one up. That, you won't go wrong with that recipe. I guarantee it. Either of these recipes. Both of these are amazing side dishes. Give these a try. You won't go wrong. That potato salad is right on point. And I had Kris try it a little bit earlier. When I added the mayo and mustard to it, to make sure I wasn't wrong in what I was tasting, and even she thought it was quite delicious, which means the crowd we got coming in tomorrow, between the kids, their boyfriends, girlfriends respectively, and friends we got coming over, they'll thoroughly enjoy it. That's what I want. But I said, give both these a try. You won't go wrong. Do it at your next gathering, your next, little get together, or your next cookout. I think everybody, I know everybody that shows up is going to be like, whoa, this is awesome. You'll be like, right? It is amazing. And you won't go wrong. Or if you have a potato salad recipe that you think is just incredibly awesome, share it with us. We would love to try it, either down in the comments or on Facebook, or a deviled egg recipe you would like to tell us about or share. Either way, I think that would be awesome, right? Because I love to try new things. We try them all the time here. Always something new. It's kind of the consequences of having this channel, but at the same time, variety is the spice of life, right? So tomorrow, we're going to do Kit Kat cupcakes. Now, I did post a picture of them on both Instagram and Facebook, because I have already made them. So you'll notice I have hair in the video coming out tomorrow. That way I can spend the day with my family on the 4th of July. So we pre-did the video for tomorrow. And I'm here to tell you, tune in for that one. Ooh-wee, those are awesome. You won't be disappointed by any means. You will really like them. They were a request of a friend of mine. Him and his wife, their son, had passed his swimming class. He graduated from swimming class, and they were throwing a little get together, and he asked me to make cupcakes. So I felt privileged, hands down. So like I said, let me know if you try those. Tomorrow we're going to do Kit Kat cupcakes. I fully expect most people won't see it tomorrow because it's the 4th. And I would like to think everybody's going to be out with the family and friends, celebrating, watching fireworks, you know, being busy cooking out or whatever it is you like to do on the 4th. But until then, I love you. I love you very much. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Tell somebody else that you love them and that you love them very much. They may need to hear it. It's going to make them smile either way. It's going to make you feel good and probably smile just to tell them that. And if you bring some of this potato salad to their picnic or gathering, or those deviled eggs, or both, they're going to know. Everybody's going to think you are amazing because those are amazing little side dishes. You know, or just making them for the family. You know, put some in a bowl and give it to the mailman on the 5th when he comes through to drop off the mail, since you're going to have twice as much mail with no mail on the 4th. Or the guy walking his dog down the street in the afternoon. You know, if you catch somebody walking down the street on the 4th, invite them in for, you know, a burger, hot dog, whatever it is you grill. Slap some of that stuff on the side. They're going to be like, oh, wow, this person can cook. You know, and they may stop by a little more often. You may make a new friend. So until tomorrow for Kit Kat Cupcakes, I love you. And I'll see you then. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.